Okay, so we've all heard that classic piece of advice for a racing mind, right? Just write it down. But let's be honest, if you've actually tried it, it usually doesn't work. So today we're going to dig into exactly why that advice fails and, more importantly, what really does stop that endless overthinking loop. I mean, you know the drill, right? You sit down, you pour all those anxious thoughts out onto the page, you feel this moment of relief. You close the notebook thinking, okay, done. And then, maybe 30 minutes later, that same exact worry is back, knocking on the door of your mind. It is so frustrating, and believe me, it is a super common experience.
All right, let's get right to the heart of it, because this is the big idea. A thought keeps coming back because simply writing it down doesn't resolve it. Think of it like this. It's like taking a really noisy, annoying file, sticking it in a cabinet, but then leaving the cabinet door wide open. Your brain doesn't just see words on a page. No, it feels this emotional engine that's still humming away in the background.
And that's the cycle, isn't it? It feels so productive because, hey, you're doing something about it. But just recording the fear, maybe saying the same worry in a few different ways, that doesn't actually diffuse the bomb. All you've done is give that worry a new home on a piece of paper. And your brain, it's just going to keep going back to visit because the real issue hasn't been solved.
Okay, so to figure out how to get off this hamster wheel, we've got to first understand the wheel itself. What is actually going on inside our brains when we're stuck in one of those loops?
So here's the thing. Overthinking isn't just about having too many thoughts. It's not some random flood. It's actually about one specific kind of thought, and it's rooted in something called unprocessed uncertainty. Basically, your brain has flagged a potential threat. Could be social, financial, whatever. And it has latched on for dear life. It just can't let it go. You can almost picture your brain as this super sensitive smoke detector. The second it senses a whiff of a potential problem, its one and only job is to keep that alarm ringing until the threat is neutralized. So it creates this mental loop, replaying the same scene again and again, just desperately trying to find a solution or some angle it missed.
And here's where the real mismatch happens. To shut off that alarm, your brain needs one of two things. It either needs real, genuine clarity on the problem, or it needs to get so tired of thinking about it that it just gives up. But unstructured writing, just dumping your thoughts onto a page, it gives you neither of those. You don't get any new insight, you're just rereading the same old fear. So no clarity and definitely no exhaustion.
All right, so if just dumping our thoughts on a page is a dead end, then what actually works? Well, let's check out a method that psychologists use. It's a totally different approach, and it's designed specifically to break that loop.
See, an expert isn't just going to say, yeah, write it down, you'll be fine. No way. They guide you through a structured cognitive process, and a lot of it comes from something called cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT. And that word structured, that's the whole game. This isn't about dumping your thoughts, it's about dissecting them, piece by piece.
And that process? It looks a little something like this. Now pay close attention to the order of these questions. It's not random. They are specifically designed to force your brain to switch gears, to get it out of that emotional panicked part and into the cool, logical, analytical part. You're not just writing the worry down anymore. You are putting it on the witness stand and cross-examining it.
So what's the result? What actually happens inside your head when you start asking these structured questions? Well, this is the moment the loop finally shatters.
Okay, let's set the scene. When a thought is stuck on that loop, man, it feels 100% real. It feels urgent, it feels dangerous, the emotional weight is just crushing, and it demands every last bit of your attention.
But then, when you use that structure to slow down and really examine the thought, look for the assumptions, ask for the hard evidence, your brain has this aha moment. It's this powerful realization that, okay, the feeling is real, but the story the feeling is telling you, it isn't actually true. Or at the very least, it's massively exaggerated.
And that amazing moment, it actually has a name. It's called threat resolution. And this is so important. It's not about just think positive or forcing yourself to feel better. Not at all. It's a totally logical reevaluation. Your brain, that little smoke detector, finally concludes, okay, false alarm, and it can finally stop wasting all that precious energy on it. Now, here's a really key point. The thought itself might not just vanish into thin air, but what does vanish is its emotional power. It's like the thought has been defanged. It no longer has the ability to hijack your attention or set off that whole stress response. It just becomes, just another thought floating by, instead of a 5-alarm fire that needs to be put out. And all of this brings us to the final big takeaway. It's a whole new way to think about handling our thoughts, making the shift from simply dumping them to actually processing them. And this reframes the whole issue, doesn't it? Overthinking is not some flaw in your personality. It is not who you are. It's a processing failure. That's it. It's just your brain running an unfinished program on a loop because it doesn't have the right command to close the window.
And this table just lays it all out perfectly. Think about it. Dumping your thoughts, like in journaling, is a memory system. Its job is to store and collect the problem. But the processing method, the CBT one, that's a resolution system. Its whole purpose is to end the loop by taking the thought apart. So one just collects thoughts and the other one dismantles them. Huge difference.
So when you boil it all down, it really comes to this. The real difference is working through a thought, not just writing it down. The goal isn't just to get it out of your head. The goal is to investigate it, to challenge it, and to help your brain finally see it for what it really is.
So, think about it. The next time you feel your brain getting stuck on a thought, don't just reach for a blank page to store it. Instead, ask yourself the questions that will help you actually process it, once and for all. What's that one thought in your life right now that needs to be dismantled, not just documented?